Hi everyone, it's Julie at the Paper Bag Lady 1 here, and I don't usually do haul videos, but I went to my favorite little thrift store today and then to the fabric outlet, and I found some really yummy things, and so I thought I would share. Those of you who know me know that I love vintage crocheted linens because I love to cut them apart and use them, use the individual little doilies that you get from it for flowers and other embellishments. So I went to my favorite little gift store or thrift store, which is in Mount Joy, Pennsylvania. They have the best stuff for the most ridiculous prices. So here's what I found today. And sometimes they have lots of this stuff and other times not so much, but today was a really good day. So I found a bunch of different linens to cut apart. See all those fun, yummy little flowers that'll make. And I'm not sure what I'll do with this part here. I'm not even sure. Maybe that's supposed to be like a basket of flowers or something. I don't know. But anyway, that was, let's see, $1.25. Then I found 4 of these, and I think they were something like 50 cents or so a piece. So I have 4 of those to cut apart to those yummy little flowers. And I found this little white one. Here's a little bit bigger one that has 5 doilies with it, and that was, let's see, $1. This one, this is just too cute with the little hearts all over it. I'm not sure I'll actually be able to cut that up. It's so cute, but I thought I had to have that. That was, look at that. Can you see that? 35 cents. 35 cents for that. Let's see, here's a nice big one with all these little, this doesn't really look good on the camera. I have really bad lighting in my studio right now, but this is kind of like a tan color. I'm going to cut that apart and use that. And then I stopped at the Goodwill, which is just down a little bit from the from the thrift store, and I found these 2. They're both the same. So I can cut those apart. So I have all those wonderful things to cut apart. And also at the Gift and Thrift, that's the name of the thrift store, I found these 2 old handkerchiefs, and I thought these would be really nice to cut that edge off for that lace there. That was so pretty. It says here, what does it say on the tag? It says tatted edge. So that must have been some tatting on the edge of that. So I got that one, and then I also got this little bit larger one. It's kind of like a table runner, I think, or maybe a scarf for on a dresser, and it's got these little stitch daisies on it, but really the reason I got this one was for the lace on the edge of that too. Can you see that? Here, I'll put it down here. There. Have that lace on the edge. So pretty. So I was so happy to find those. Now they also have trim there, and sometimes they have oodles of lace and things like that, and sometimes not so much. But they had a couple today. So I got some of this. I don't think you can really tell the color. Let me put this under here. Does that help at all? Like I said, really bad lighting. Oh yeah, you can see the pink there. So I got some of that. I got this little roll. This is very interesting. I've never seen anything, let me get that tape off there, anything like this. It's kind of a brown with like maybe a hint of a shimmer to it. I don't know if you can see. Will it focus? Can't tell. But anyway, it's all these little tiny threads that make up the innards of that. That was something different I'd never seen before, and that was 50 cents for the roll. Look, still a good bit on there. And then also this one. It's kind of a cream color. I like this kind because you can take a thin ribbon and kind of weave it through those little holes. So we got a spool of that, and that was also 50 cents. Then there's this. I'm not sure what I will do with that. or what I will use that for. It might show up on my Etsy, I'm not sure. It's kind of a cream color, like giant eyelets. I'm not really sure, but it was something different. I'd never seen that before, so I had to have that. And then the last of the, well, let me find the edge here. The last of the trims there is this really, really wide lace, and that's a white lace. Like, is it all getting on there? I have so much all over my desk here. There you go. You can see that it is, let me find a ruler. It's about 7¼ inches wide. This really pretty lace. And again, I don't know what I will do with it. I'm not always real good at using the real big wide stuff, so that might end up on my Etsy store as well. So those were my treasures from the thrift stores. Then I stopped at a little antique mall near me, and I just got one thing there. Sometimes I find some really good crocheted things there to cut up, but this time what I found was this beautiful, wait, where's my little white paper? This beautiful vintage lace. It's kind of tan, creamy color. Is that focused? Can't really tell. Maybe not. Anyway, so there's a whole big bundle of it here. Is that real pretty lace? So I'm a sucker for anything vintage. And then I went to my favorite little fabric outlet. And some of you may be familiar with the wall of trim, but they also have a table with things on it for clearance. And they haven't had anything really new there for a while, but today I went and they had tons and tons of stuff. A lot of it was really thick, really fat kind of stuff, almost like you would use with drapery, like to make the ties or the tassels, that sort of thing. But I did manage to find some different laces and trims, and they were all on the spools like this. And some of them, like this one, don't have too much on it, but some of them have quite a bit, as you will see. So this is kind of an orangey color with the satin ribbon kind of woven already through that. And that's like a crochet. It's a little thicker than regular lace would be, but it's not quite as heavy as, say, some of these things are. So there's that one. And here's another spool. And this is a white. I'll show it on the white first so you can see this kind of pink little thread edge on it. You can't really see the paper there, or the lace pattern. So there it is on the black. So we got the rest of the spool of that. Here is a really pretty white rose lace. And again, these are all probably going to end up, most of them, on my Etsy store, which is the Paper Bag Lady. Here is one that's kind of a, oh, in this light it's hard to tell. I don't think it's really mint green, maybe like a really, really pale aqua color. That black makes it look really washed out. It's a little bit more color to it than is showing on the camera, I think. Got that one. And then this, I really like this. I am not always a big fan of orange. However, this is like a crocheted cotton trim, and I just thought that was so fun, and it would be really neat on some kind of project using some really bright summery papers. Maybe something beachy. I don't know why it's kind of making me think of the beach. I don't even like the beach, but anyway, there's that one. Let's see. Here is like a white eyelet trim with the little bit frayed edges there. I kind of like that look, is the little frayed edges, or if you don't, you could always on your projects use it, you know, right under a paper like that so you don't even see it. That one. Here is one of my favorites. This, look at this whole spool. Goodness gracious. This is, you can see the yellow on there. See, it's a white with the little yellow kind of design in the center. I love yellow. I think that's so pretty for spring. So there's that one. Here's a mint. Look at all that. It's ridiculous. There's a mint green, and it's kind of like a crisscrossy zigzag. It's not open in the center. There's like a real sheer weave through the center of it. That's something a little unique. Wait, I've got a couple more down here I have to reach. Here is one, and this one is kind of hard to see, the color. It is white, and then it has a real pale pink little center to it. Whoops. Here's another one. And this is a little bit wider also, and this is kind of a beige, a tannish beige with almost a little bit of a glint to it. I don't know if you can see, there's almost like a little bit of shimmer right here on these leaves. That's real pretty. 3 more. Then I have 2. Whoops, there's one. And there's the other. Look at that ridiculous amount of lace. I'm not even going to tell you what I paid for these. It's crazy. But anyway, so I already have one like this on my Etsy. It's kind of a cream color. But now this one, and again, I'm not sure how well the colors are going to show up here. It's like a really light lavender and a really, almost like a light Wedgwood blue color. And again, the camera's not picking up the color really well. Those 2. And then the last one is, and look at the size of this. Whoop! Look at the size of this. It's crazy. I don't know what I'm going to do with all this. I think a lot of people are going to be getting racks. And a lot of it's going on the Etsy. But this is like a pale pink scalloped edge with the little eyelets, and then the little ruffled edge. Not ruffled, but the kind of frayed edge on the top. Neither one of those is picking up the color well, but it's a real pale pink. You might be able to, nope, doesn't even look at there. But anyway, so those were all my treasures that I found today. I was so glad that I had stopped into the fabric outlet. When I got there, there was another woman who was already there who had already gathered a whole bunch of these trims that she wanted, and I thought, oh, if I hadn't gone to the antique mall first, I would have probably come home with more. But there you can see the stash that I've come home with now. My big pile of linens. So, hope you enjoyed seeing all this goodness. I know I enjoyed purchasing it, and if you're interested, look for some of it to be showing up on my Etsy store in a couple of days. It's the Paper Bag Lady. Thanks everyone for watching, and have a great day.